No niin, nyt on sunnuntai kello 10. International Hammer Challengein kakkososio alkaa ja mulla on tässä vieressä Essi Pakarinen. Essi, sulla on vastassa Santtu Tahvanainen. Mitkä sulla on fiilikset siitä?
No eipä sillä väliä, kuka tulee vastaan omaa peliä, voitetaan, niin sillä pääsee eteenpäin.
Tuntuuko, että tuossa kelissä tavallaan sulle on mitään erikoista vai ihan tyypillistä talia?
No aika tyypillistä. Toki kun pelaat omia ratoja, niin pitää olla hereillä muutoksien kanssa, mutta sitten tietää mitä itse on pelannut, niin helpompi tehdä ne muutokset.
Ja varmaan just nämä matsipelit, niin nehän on sinänsä reilumpia, koska sun vastustajakin heittää siinä, vaikka on eri käsit, niin ei tule sitä, että kun vaihdetaan rataa, niin oho, tää onkin tämmöinen. Niin ootko sä itse sitä mieltä, että tämä on ihan kiva turnaus tällaisella formaatilla?
No joo, tää on ainakin erilainen, että ei näitä ihan hirveästi ole, että koko finaali pelataan niin kuin matsipelejä, niin ei niitä hirveästi ole.
Mitä veikkaat, päästäänkö me vielä selostaa sun heittoja sitten, kun top 4 on jäljellä?
No toivotaan näin.
Toivotaan onnea sulle, Essi.
Kiitos.
No niin, tässä vieressä on Linus Boström. Linus, säkin oot päässyt tälle sunnuntaille mukaan 32 joukkoon. Vastustaja näyttäisi olevan tuommoinen ihan kohtuu kova kaveri, eli Tomas Käykkö. Mitkä on sun fiilikset?
No toistaiseksi on hyvät fiilikset, että katsotaan mihin tää johtaa. Vastus on kovaa, mutta silloin ehkä pelataan molemmat yhtä kovaa. Katsotaan mihin tää riittää.
Muistatko vielä, että mihin asti sä viime vuoden kisassa pääsit?
Viime vuoden kisassa pääsin 6 sarjan alkukilpailuun ja sitten siihen jäi.
Eli voidaan jo nyt sanoa, että tämä on mennyt vähän paremmin kuin viime vuonna.
Kyllä. Viime vuonna en päässyt finaaliin ollenkaan. Heitin vaan kerran ja taisi alle tonnin jäädä se 6 sarjaa, niin nyt ollaan jo paljon pidemmällä.
No, jäädään tsemppaamaan ja toivotaan sulle hyvää päivää.
Kiitos.
No nyt olisi tässä Noa Vilokkinen. Haluatko sä sanoa meille jotain vähän tunnelmia ennen kuin pelit alkaa?
Mitäs tässä? Aika aikainen aamu.
Ensimmäisen kierroksen vastustaja, sullakin on aika kova, William Svensson. Onko jotain tiettyä taktiikkaa esimerkiksi harjoitellessa, mitä meinaat tehdä, joka voisi olla sun eduksi?
No mä menen sitten ja vaihtaa vasemmalla laidan aika hyvin, että sieltä voi itse pelata sitten. Että katsoo mistä toi ukko pelaa, että pelaakko mistä pelaa. Mä pelaan vasemmalta.
Eli etukäteen oot jo melko varma, että sä heität vasemmalta puolelta?
Kyllä. Karsinta meni niin vakuuttavasti. Siinä 5 minuuttia koitin oikealta, mutta ei ollut mitään ideaa.
Sen mä kattelin, että myös William Svensson eilen heitteli Markus Lahtea vastaan sieltä vasemmalta. Ja en ollut itse ennen nähnyt. Kuinkahan yleistä se alkaa olla jo kaksikätisillä, että pelataan sieltä vasemmalta puolelta. Että se ei varmaan enää ole semmoinen etu, mitä ehkä vielä vuosi sitten olisi ollut.
Niin, no ei se varmaan semmoinen, että se on yleistynyt aika paljon, että nyt sitä on alkanut näkyä enemmän. Että Williamkin ei ihan hirveän usein sieltä, mutta tässä on pelannut aika paljon nyt vasemmalta. Ja katsoin, että kesällä se oli Madridissa pelannut myös vasemmalta. Että.
No, varmaan tulee ihan mielenkiintoinen matsi. Toivotaan Noa sulle onnea.
Joo, kiitos.
Otetaanko tästä vielä Emma? Eilen illalla sulle ei ollut kauhean tasokas ottelu Donssia vastaan, mutta sen seurauksena on varmaan aika kiva lähteä tälle päivälle.
No katsotaan, jos kenttä menee samanlaiseksi, niin ei se ihan hirveän kiva ole.
Sulla on vastassa Karsten Hansen. No, ei varmaan mikään ihan maailman helpoin. Onko sulla jotain tiettyä taktiikkaa, mitä sä lähdet jo harjoitusheitoissa toteuttaa, että rata muuttuisi tiettyyn suuntaan?
No ei mulla silleen. Ehkä koittaa vähän just niinku sen aluetta tuolla purplella jotenkin pilaa. Että ei muuten mitään kummosempaa.
Niin, koska Karstenhan ei varmaankaan uretaanilla heitä, että silloinhan sulla on mahdollisuus siihen.
No kyllä sieltä ainakin tuossa räkissä on yksi purple, että voi olla, että se heittää sillä tai se heittää tuolla Zeromerillä, mikä tuossa saa nähdä.
No, toivotaan, että tulee hyvä matsi ja pääset jatkoon.
Jep.
Vielä voidaan muutama ennen kuin pelit pääsee alkuun, ettei ketään häiritä. Brandon, is it okay to ask for a few questions?
Yeah.
What are your feelings just right now?
Feeling good. Not really feeling anything. Just another day here in Finland. It's pretty crappy weather out, but hopefully it's better in here.
Your first match is against Lukas Fjellborg, and Lukas actually played pretty well last night. Do you have any kind of plans what you're going to do during the practice? Because obviously he's a righty.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stick to my own game and play my own game, and hopefully at the end it's good enough to get the W.
Okay. Good luck for you.
Thank you.
Nyt meillä on, Janne, myös se, että me ei kauhean pitkälle voida mennä, kun mikrofonikin vähän tulee vastaan, niin Jarno voitaisiin vielä ottaa. Joo, meillä on, Jarno, kato semmoinen, että tässä alkaa olla kuuluvuusongelma. Me ei voida mennä ihan tuonne alkupäähän, niin mikki ei enää toimi. Mutta ei puhuta teknisistä puolista, mitkä on just fiilikset, kun kakkososio alkaa. Ja...
Loistava. Eilen meni hyvin, niin ei muuta kuin jatketaan samaa vaan.
Se oli aika makea se 300, koska mahdollisesti siitä tulee jo ihan kiva siivu.
Joo, tonni tuli ainakin jo. Ja no, en usko, että olet Tunnulle ainoat matsipeleissä kuitenkin saa itselle tehdä kentän, niin mä luulen, että joku tekee myös, mutta toivotaan parasta, ettei kukaan muuten.
Tuo oli hyvä huomio. Nimenomaan saa itse pelata siinä, koska aina kun rataa vaihdetaan karsinnassa, niin se on huomattavasti vaikeampaa. Mikä sun eka vastustaja oli? Huoppola Juho. Ootko ennen pelannut Juhoa vastaan?
En muistaakseni ainakaan ole. Ekaa kertaa.
Ja tietysti eihän näitä formaatteja niin kovin usein ole. Ja Juho nyt on pelannut koko kesän läpi ja varmaan kunnossa, niin mä luulen, että tulee hyvä matsi, mutta onnea sulle.
Kiitos.
Hyvää huomenta. Good morning. Has all the players arrived on the lanes or do you see somebody missing? Onko kaikki pelaajat saapuneet vai puuttuuko joltakin rataparilta pelaaja? It seems that everybody has woken up this morning and we will have 32 players in this A-final step 2. Pelataan paras 5 otteluita, eli 3 sarjavoitolla pääsee jatkoon. Ja muistutuksena naispelaajien tasoitus 8 pistettä lasketaan kaadettuna keiloina, eli jos naisten tasoituksen kanssa tulee miespelaajan kanssa tasapeli, niin silloin meidän yhden pallon roll-offihin. We will play match play best of 5, so you need to win 3 games to continue to the next round. And reminder of the women's 8-point handicap. It will be counted as pinfall. So if you have a tie with the female player with her handicap, you will have 1 ball roll-off. After your match is over, if you did not continue, you can go to the cashier opening and claim your prize from there. Eli jos käy niin hassusti, että te pääse jatkoon, niin sitten tuosta keilakassalta, mihin maksoitte eränne, niin menkää sopimaan palkinnonmaksusta Tonin kanssa. When the machines start at 10 o'clock, you will have 10 minutes practice. And I'll remind you that you can change the surface of the ball during warm-up, but not after that during this match. If you continue, you will have another warm-up before the next round. Eli pallonpinnan muuttaminen on lämmittelyn aikana vielä sallittua, mutta ei tämän 5 sarjan matsin aikana. Jos etenette seuraavalle kierrokselle, niin teillä on taas uusi lämmittely, jonka aikana voitte muuttaa pintaa.
Jos sulla on molemmat uudit käytössä, niin sä et pysty, jos menee ranskalaisiin, niin sä et hyödyntää kahta.
It's 2 to 10, so few minutes before we start.
it's over, then let's start it again. The planets alive, the stars burn bright, the sun goes down, we keep going on now. Don't back down, the moment is now. Don't miss out, we're never turning around. The night is young, we're out and free. If you can, try to catch me if you can. Catch me if you can. We're renegades. We're renegades. We're renegades. They'll never see us 'cause we're moving the night. We're always ready if they put up a fight. Outrun, outclimb, we'll outshine. You will run and think it's worth it to try. So listen up, I'm calling your bluff, calling your bluff. Yeah, give it up, I think you've had enough. We're renegades. Yeah, we're renegades. We're renegades. Too much on the line, too much to give in. If you think it's over, then let's start it again. The planets align, the stars burn bright, the sun goes down, let's keep going all night. So listen up, I'm calling your bluff, calling your bluff. Yeah, give it up, think you've had enough, We're renegades. We're renegades. We're renegades. We're renegades. We're renegades. Yeah, I'm moving at the speed of sound. I got both hands off the wheel. No, nothing's gonna slow me down. I keep on heading straight to the top. I'm gonna show you something real. No, nothing's gonna make me stop. I got breath in my lungs, my blood pumping strong. I gotta tell you what I feel inside. I feel so good. I got breath in my lungs, my blood pumping strong. I gotta tell you what I feel inside. I feel so good. So good to be alive. 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 I'm hitting harder than a hurricane. I got nothing left to fear. No, there isn't any other way. I got breath in my lungs, my blood pumping strong. I gotta tell you what I feel inside. I feel so good. I got breath in my lungs, my blood pumping strong. I gotta tell you what I feel inside. I feel so good. So good to be alive. 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 This is how it works now. When the gates of earth won't let you out, This is where you fall down. You weren't ready when heaven rained down in a storm cloud. Oh, don't let your feelings out. Every word you speak on the back page, dripping in a joke in a seascape. In your love shell, you weren't ready to meet the angels. When you fall, then it don't. When you care, then it won't. You weren't ready when heaven rained down. When you fall, should've cared. When you see standing there. When you fall, should've cared. When you see standing anywhere. I saw the way you turned me on, even as I saw through you. I saw the way you called it, yeah, I saw the way you knew. And every time the world is wrong, we see it crystal clear. But we maintain the illusion that we all know why we're here. Should've cared. When you see our love standing there. When you fall, should've cared. When you see our love standing anywhere.
It is Sunday morning. Nyt ei muuten kuulu. Ei kuulu mitään. So it's Sunday morning. International Hammer Challenge. Final step number 2. We have 32 players remaining. We will play best of 5 matches until 4 players remain, and those 4 players will later on, starting 5:30 p.m., play 1 game semifinals, and the winners will meet in eventual final at 6 o'clock later on today. And all of the matches are based on highest seed versus the lowest seed, still continuing in the tournament. And compared to yesterday, I was yesterday all by myself here. Now I have Rauli and Janne also back in the crew, so we'll be doing interviews down the lane area after matches finish. And also that top 4 will be like a TV-like system, even though it's not produced on TV. The whole setup is like it's on TV. Hammer Challenge, the winner gets 7,000 euros, runner-up 4.5, and losers in the semi-final will be rewarded with 3,000 euros. And like said before, best of 5 matches until 4 best remain. So now we have 16 matches going on. There are lots of several matches going on. And since on the mainstream we can only show 4 lanes in one camera, we're trying to show you all the interesting stuff on the mainstream. But if you want to watch a certain match or a certain player, you can always purchase that pass where you can choose the camera that you are following the whole time.
Good morning for my side also.
And now, Rauli, please tell us how to order those passes that you can choose the camera.
Yeah, so we have 2 different channels. We have International Hammer Challenge, what you are watching now on the main channel. And then we have a Ballmaster channel, what is used on the other tournaments. And all these static cameras are now streamed on Ballmaster channel. Today we don't have enough of bandwidth doing all 9 streams on 2 different channels. On next step there will be also double streams on International Hammer Challenge and Ballmaster channels. There is we have a limited bandwidth and machine capacity what we are using on this point. So sadly on this point, those who has been bought the extras on International Hammer Challenge channel is not seeing the extra cameras.
But yeah, top 16 when there is 8 matches and top 8 when there is 4 matches, those are viewable for you who have already purchased that International Hammer Challenge pass.
It's interesting that 18 different streams is, well, technically, 19 different streams is too much.
Yeah, I can tell that there are several computers and lots of cables, so it's not that easy.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll be having a great final day, lots of great bowlers over there. For example, now on picture on lane 11 and 12, Ben Robinson, who shot 790 en road to beat Parker Bourne in 3 straight games yesterday. He has already started again with a front 3.
Like Lucas.
And Lucas Vanhanen.
On the graphic side, let's see, have we made any mistakes on here? The first 8 pairs, these are not lane by lane, it's just pairs. So Mark Jacobs versus Teppo Ryhänen and so on.
And in that match, obviously, since Mark Jacobs won the qualification with 15 or something, he's the highest seed and Teppo Ryhänen is the lowest seed, still continuing in the tournament. And every match is based on the highest seed versus the lowest seed, and then the second highest and the second lowest, and so on.
Yeah, so that was the first 8 and the second 8 is here. So there is a Santtu versus Essi, and on other side there is a Brandon versus Lucas. So
yeah, lots of interesting matches. And also Brandon Bourne, who finished second in qualification, his opponent Lucas Fjällborg was really finding it last night. I think he averaged over 240 also during final step 1 and 2 in B finals, and also in A finals, final step 1. So lots of strikes coming your way through the day. Over here on 13-14, Jarno Lahti shot the first 300 game last night in his match against Roni Leskinen. And with that 300 game, he already pocketed 1,000 euros And if he remains the only one who shoots 300, he will pocket extra 2,000 for that. If there's another 300, then Jarno and that other person or other persons will play one ball roll-off after the conclusion of the top 4 TV step ladders, and they will play for that 2,000. But for now, it stands that Jarno Lahti might pocket 1 plus 2, so 3,000 euros with his perfect game last night.
It took quite long to get 300k.
Yeah, and there was only one player who made it to this last shot. Valdemar Möller, who had previously the highest game, 299. I can't remember any else having 11. So there were 10 strikes.
It has happened so much that I can't remember.
Maybe there was one,
yeah.
and it was like a 7 count, so the game was 297.
Yeah.
But not too many.
Yeah.
Because like a couple of years ago, I remember during Ballmaster Open, that 300 extra roll-off after the finals took an hour or so, because there were 15 or 19 players entering. So that year...
19 300 games, and there was couple on same person. Yeah.
And maybe one who didn't pay that 10 euro extra, which I think always is kind of weird that you pay over 100 euros to enter the tournament, but you don't pay that 10 euros.
Yeah. And on these hour competitions, you always get place on the final.
Yeah. If it's 250 extra or no 250, you get always something.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you pay that 10 euros?
Yeah. It's basically just entry fee for final.
That is true. And 250 extra, the winner got 500, and was it 300 for the...
300,
So with 10 euros.
So probably we are talking about sano vaan suomeksi tai englanniksi. Sorry about.
Yeah, we are getting some weird messages from Janne.
Yeah.
But no, this 5 and 6, Juhani Tontari has started on 5.
Yeah.
And I remember from last year's tournament, okay, Ben Robinson, he had that 790 yesterday against Parker, but the most lopsided match when the other loser also played well was last year. Alex Joki shot 840 something for 3, and he beat obviously 3-0 Lucas Väänänen, who shot over 740. So Lucas's average was almost 250, and he didn't get a single game.
Hanchester's told that lane 9 we have Lucas Väänänen and
Front 7 and over here in
front
Tali,
7,
both in
Lucas
International
Väänänen.
Championship and in Ballmaster Tournament. Every time you have front 7 or more, you will be on the PA's voice, so public announcer will always say that player on that pair has 7 or more. We did some interviews in Finnish before we started this final step number 2, and I actually asked Jarno about his 300 game, and he said that he expects that there will be another 300 played today. And his reasons to believe that is that when you play matches on that same pair and only your opponent over there, so the lane doesn't change that much.
the second last frame player, was it Lucas yesterday? Yeah, 29.
Probably, yeah, it was 297, yeah.
Yeah.
Because when we were talking about it, I actually did remember that somebody had that front 11, but did not get 299. Because in case nobody had shot 300, and that's Valdemar Möller's 299 would have remained the highest game, Valdemar would have pocketed 3,000 for that.
On lanes 5
A little light
and
hit
6,
for Lucas Väänänen that
Konteri
still
front
carries.
8,
So 4 to go for him.
Lucas Väänänen front 8,
And
Juhani
of
Konteri
course,
front
there has
7,
been
sorry.
more on the last frame throwers on 300 games, but the last shot ones are these two. Yeah. And we have a Mark Jacobs also on lane 17.
That's weird because I actually saw Mark leave something. Maybe something weird happens because I really thought that I saw Mark leave something. But since we don't see any red on the scoreboard,
It has not been corrected, the
Yeah.
score, so
If-
it has been.
if scores needs to be corrected, it always leaves a red mark on that frame. So we would know if, for example, he played accidentally on the wrong lane or any kind of machine malfunction. But yeah, Mark is also working on 6 strikes to begin the game.
So now we have director cuts. Who will throw first? Mark, obviously. So Mark is throwing now on 17 and Lucas is preparing on lane 9.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
check out the first games from the low end of the bowling center. Santtu Tahvanainen is going to win his first game against Essi Pakarinen. 9 in a row for Lucas. And then
Lucas Väänänen, 9 strikes.
Rami Mukkula is taking the first game against Alex Horton. Thomas Käykkä seems to be winning Linus Boström. And I can see lots of strikes going on over here.
Karo Hilokoski is winning Niko Oksanen.
Yeah, only left once.
Well, Mark Jacobs has possibility.
Mark is still leading comfortably over Teppo Ryhänen. But with that strike in the 9th, Lucas already guaranteed the
Let's
first
go
game.
see.
Even if he opened up in the 10th, he would shoot 260s and his opponent can only shoot
Konteri
250
is
something.
winning Melin.
Yeah, he's winning.
And
Because Kevin
Thomas.
Melin's maximum is 214 and Juhani with 2 open frames
Yeah.
would still shoot over 220.
Gert haven't had very good start on the
No.
frame.
Needs a strike to shoot over to 150.
Here
Eskil Lund is
Eskil,
taking the
yeah.
first game against Jonne Kaiska. And also Ben Robinson in the battle of the lefty bowlers. He's taking the first game. Even though he missed that, but he shot 202 and Lauri Kivijoja can only shoot 193. But the interesting thing is if Lucas Väänänen can achieve perfection and be the second player shooting 300 in this year's tournament.
So let's go to the close-up.
Leaving the flat 10. So that ends Lucas's dream of shooting perfect game, at least for now. Over here we have a very interesting match. Also Noah Vilokkinen and William Svensson, and they probably both are shooting backup ball from the left hand side part of the lane. And William Svensson has already guaranteed 240, so he takes the first game. And like you saw, also William has developed that backup shot, because I can't remember him using it like a year or so. But it's so common these days that these two-handers are using backup. Obviously lefties are not shooting on the right side, but righties are shooting from the left side. Noah will shoot 230s, and William Svensson, if he spares that 8-pin, will start the match with 244. Richard Tees takes the first game against Alex Joki. Karsten Hansen and Emma Palermaa. Emma Palermaa wins the first game. It was already decided before Karsten had that shot. And the day continues after the conclusion of this final step number 2. We will once more re-oil all the lanes. Round of 16 will take place in lanes between 9 and 24. And then top 8 will eventually play the last round before TV finals on lanes 1 to 8. And the reason why we are moving those matches on the first part of the bowling center is that gives us time and space to create that TV setup in the high end of this bowling center. And it's scheduled that step 3 will start at 1 o'clock. Then I think it was 90-minute intervals, so that should be 2:30 and 4, and semifinals are going to take place 5:30 later on tonight. Over there you can see Alex Horton starting the second game with a double. Rami Mukkula winning the first one.
Now we have give instructions for the front desk to get those scores on graphics. So Jarno Lahti, Lukas Väänänen, Juhani Tondari, Ben Robinson, Eskil Lind has won the first match.
And we know that Mark Jacobs won, but
it hasn't
Tapanimäki Nielsen, that match I don't know how it happened. And also Kerpos struggling, so Lem Kare obviously took the first one.
And what we have on the second screen, Santtu, Thomas, William, Karo, Rami, Richard, and we have
Emma did win the first game. Brandon and Lucas, it seemed like Brandon was on his way to take it. 2 frames to go, because I think Brandon's lead was almost 30 pence.
Yeah, it came the numbers on there, so
This is the 4th time we are playing International Hammer Challenge. The first edition was played back in 2023 in September. The inaugural winner was Jenni Heino, and since then the second year's winner was Rami Mukkula, and last year senior bowler Petteri Salonen came all the way through B finals to capture the title. And only Rami Mukkula is still playing from those past 3 winners. And you see him on the lanes playing against Alex Horton, so one chance of having a double champion. Essi Pakarinen getting some late help on that 7-pin, and with double and lady handicap he's taken a 22-pin lead over Santtu Tahvalainen, who took the first game. Jonne Kaisku, who last night in step 1 started the first 2 games very high, like 530 or something, then struggled for a couple of games, but was able to win that fifth game. I can't remember who his opponent was, but he was able to turn it around and make it to step 2. And at the moment he has taken a 20-pin lead over Eskil Lind, who took the first game. Juhani Tonteri, who actually played his qualification score in early bird squad, which was the first one of the tournament. I can't remember if he participated after that at all. And since we are playing these matches, I don't really see the point to qualify again, because this is so much different to play matches than compared to normal 6-game scratch game. And in this year's tournament, we had 291 different players taking part, and they played 621 entries altogether. So the numbers were actually pretty close to last year. 3 more players and allowed 23 entries, was it less? So it has stayed the same. Ben Robinson, front 6. And for Ben, that 202 was, okay, he opened up in the 10th. And to me, it looked like that he wasn't even trying to make that spare. But he looks like a player that can go all the way. And Ben Robinson has taken at least 2 titles on the European Tour. Could be 3, so he's no stranger doing good in big tournaments. Lauri Kiviö misses that 10-pin. Well, probably doesn't mean anything since Ben isn't working on that front 6. Also, Karsten Hansen in his match against Emma Palerma has started with front 4. But for now, let's focus on Ben Robinson, if he can keep up building his strike streak. Oh, pretty okay light hit, but this time leaving 10-pin that he's comfortably going to take home also this second game. And Jarno Lahti, who shot that 300 yesterday, has started with front 7. And the rules actually are, let's potentially say that Jarno shoots another one, and then there would be another player shooting 1 300 game. In that roll-off, Jarno would have 2 chances and the other one only 1.
Yeah.
So it's not completely irrelevant. Shoot another 300 if you already done 1, in case that there are other players. If he shoots another one and nobody else, then it's irrelevant.
Yeah. And also, if you don't buy on squad that extra on the second one, then you don't have the second.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Because that could happen, that you shoot in the first squad, then you think that, well, I'm not going to pay it because I already have 300, and then you make another one, that doesn't count.
And also,
if you make it to the finals with that score.
Yeah, if you do better score without paying the extra, it doesn't carry on
Yeah, because you made the finals with that entry that you didn't pay that 10 euros.
So there is this evil catch that you have to do it if you get better score.
Yeah, like I said, it's only 10 euros. But then again, if let's say that we are in that position, I might skip it.
Yeah.
8th frame, Jarno Lahti. A very, very light hit. But he's still able to carry.
Jarno Lahti.
But while we are waiting for him to come back and shoot in the 9th frame, you can also watch over here Karsten Hansen, who lost the first one, has started with front 6, but Emma has also started with 2 doubles. A strike here, it's still a close game. Unfortunate for Emma, she leaves a 4-pin on 21 and 22. Niko Oksanen needs some help from Karo if he wants to win this second game and tie the match at 1 apiece. But if you shoot your ball into that area of the lane, you probably need more than help from your opponent. Jarno in the 9th frame. That was all pocket.
Jarno Lahti.
Pretty much
front
solid 8
nine.
was the only thing that could have stayed on the deck, and which was a good thing that it didn't. Front 9 for Jarno Lahti. Before he goes up, Horton and Mukkula are pretty close. Käykö leads by 20. On the last pair, Essi Pakarinen is definitely going to tie that match at 1 apiece. Let's watch Karsten's shot before we go to fly camera behind Jarno Lahti. Jarno is still not on the approach, so we can watch Karsten's shot and then switch to that. Very nice shot by Karsten.
Karsten Hansen, front 7.
Uh-oh, not this time. Missed it to the left. Left at 3, 6, 10. But nevertheless, Jarno is leading 2 games to none.
And then we have 5 in front in Lucas Väänänen and next try going on.
Lucas has left only once. And also Ben Robinson took that second game from Lauri. Okay, from 6. Karsten is about to go on the approach. Pretty soon. We'll try to show you both Karsten and Lucas Väänänen. A great strike, and now I noticed something. Karsten is using a reactive ball on 24 and a urethane ball on 23. On 25 and 26, seems like it's going to be William Svensson taking a 2-0 lead after 2 matches. Alex Joki is on pace to tie the game against Richard Thies, but then let's go back to Lucas Väänänen. Was he 9 and 12? Yes. Yeah, that's interesting how Karsten is playing using urethane and reactive, because that's pretty normal that you use 2 different reactives, but urethane and reactive, that hardly happens.
There is something going on.
Obviously, yeah. And that match that I showed Noah Vilokkinen and William Svensson, first time I see a match where both righties are using backup, but it's modern bowling. That went too early to the right area. But now, well, that's also a bad one for Karsten. And it's still not even decided. If Emma strikes out, her maximum would be 266 including handicap. So Karsten would need to double in the 10th. So this is interesting. Unfortunate for Emma, she wasn't able to strike. So if Karsten makes a spare on that one, it is already 1-1 apiece. Well, he opened up. Any kind of mark in the 10th, or Emma just doesn't strike out in the 10th, Karsten will tie that match. Over here we can see that Brandon Bones and Lukas Fjellborg's match is very tight. Lukas is leading by 1 going into the 10th. And also Teppo Ryhänen has been putting up a fight against Mark Jacobs. Teppo, who played a very low-scoring match yesterday against Timo Raatikainen in B-finals, and then also against Juho Rissanen. Although he lost the first game, but it was 227, and now he's up by 33 against qualification winner Mark Jacobs.
Oh, this is something that shouldn't came on the screen yet, but we have some kind of weird mouse issue on computer doing clicks by itself.
Yeah, Rauli asked me this morning, did I experience some kind of problems with our mouse, and yes, I did. Some of the button pushes that I used, nothing happened, and all of a sudden it did like if I had put it 3 times in a row. But those are technical issues. Brandon Bourne is trailing by 1. A good light hit. So that forces Lukas Fjellborg to strike with his ball to keep that 1-pin advantage. But now that Teppo Ryhänen opened up, he's only leading 19 against Jacobs, and Jacob is working on a strike, so that is also a close game. Lukas Fjellborg getting some late help on that 9-pin, although I think it was a deserved strike. It was still a very close one. And now since both players have that single strike, so they are not losing count, Brandon Bourne pretty much needs to strike another one. And in that case, it could go into the fill balls. But this really needs to be a strike, because otherwise Lukas Fjellborg needs only a spare. Well, that's the spot where you want to hit if you need a strike. A perfect shot by Brandon Bourne. Now Fjellborg needs to strike. Well, it could have been a weak 10, but he was able to get that 6-pin out with the gutter and take out the 10. So it's a 1-pin game, 1-ball roller, pretty much. We have only had 1 tie so far, with 2 B final rounds and 1 A final round. You would think that there would have been more ties, but so far only 1. Could this potentially be the second one? Yes, great strike by Brandon. So Lukas with a strike wins. with the 9, we will have that roll-off. And it plays out that bowlers are playing on their own lane. And since that only took one shot yesterday, I don't know if they are switching lanes if the first one is tied. But they will continue the first shot on that same lane that they finished the 10th frame. But we don't need any roll-offs. Lucas Fjällborg takes care of the business, strikes with his field ball and wins the second game by 1 pin, and Brandon Bourne, Fjällborg are tied at 1. Over here, Jonne Kaisku and Eskil Lind. It is Eskil Lind who is up 2-0. Kevin Melin rebounded and did take the second game against Tonteri, so it's 1 apiece. And also Gert Roos, even though he only managed to get 191, did take the second games against Laime Carré, who only shot 165. So that is also tied at 1. Yesterday, when there were 18 matches going on in the first step, I predicted that 3 of those 18 matches would go the distance, and it happened to be the correct number. So 3 matches went whole 5 games. I think it could be close to that same number. So 3 out of 16 matches would go the distance. And just a reminder, after conclusion of this step 2, we will once more do the lanes, and after that we're only going to oil the lanes for those top 4 players, because we can use, like previously mentioned, round of 16 lanes 9 to 24 are in use, and in round of 8, first 8 lanes of the bowling center are used. Why we are just using those lanes in that order, it's also based on some technical thing, and because we have 9 different cameras in use over here, obviously they are not the same quality. That camera that we are just now on, so the camera 9 to 12, it's one of the better ones, and we are going to need it during those top 4 TV finals. So after the conclusion of round of 16, we will take this camera and install it here in the high of the bowling center when we are preparing for that top 4 show. Now we can see that Ben Robinson is once again going to sweep his opponent. He took out Parker Bourne last night in straight 3 games, and it's going to happen again against Lauri Kivioja. The only interesting part is if Ben Robinson can carry his strike streak all the way to the end and shoot another perfect game in this tournament. Also, Lucas Väänänen is holding a 2-0 lead after 2 games in his match against William Glassmore. A good light mixer from Ben Robinson.
Ben Robinson, 8 kaatoa, front 8.
But before Ben is taking the lanes in his 9th frame, you can see Jarno Lahti is leading 2 games to none. Aatu Tapaninmäki is leading against Christoph Nielsen 2-0. On 33-34, Santtu Tahvanainen and Essi Pakarinen in their third match game. It's pretty tight. Santtu has a 5-bagger and Essi has a 4-bagger. And with the handicap, 3 frames to go, it's pretty tight over there. That was dead flush for Ben Robinson. Only the 9-pin was standing clear. So once again, Janne will move with our fly camera behind lanes 11 and 12. And we will switch it there when Ben takes the lanes. But before that, Alex Horton, Rami Mukkula, they're tied at 1. Alex is holding a 21-pin lead. And match between Käyhkö and Linus Puhlström, it looks like it's going to go
9 strikes.
in 3 straight games to Thomas Käyhkö. And here Santtu is holding a small edge, but not a big one if Essi also strikes. But for now, let's keep it over here. Actually think we're gonna keep it in this camera, and if Ben shoots that perfect game, then switch to the fly camera when he's coming away from the pins with his last shot. Because this actually looks better, at least to me, than that fly camera. A good light mixer again. 2 to go for Ben Robinson.
Kymmenen kaataa, 10 strikes, Ben Robinson.
Oh, that was weird, because to me, that 7-pin move a couple of centimeters and just stood there for Lucas Väänä. But now Ben Robinson, 11th shot. It went a little bit more to the left and it hooked a little bit more.
11
It was a perfect
kaataa,
hit, so
11
1 to go.
strikes. Do we see the second 300 game of this tournament?
Only Jarno Lahti has made a perfect game in this tournament so far. So will Ben Robinson be the second one, achieving perfection? Yes, he did.
Robinson, 300 game.
That was
and now we'll have to check
dead
if
flush.
Ben has paid the €10 300 extra. And if they
A
will
guaranteed
have
strike.
roll off with Jarno
So a
Lahti
happy
after
boy
the
over
finals.
there. We will have that 300 extra roll off after all. Juha Vuoppola actually leads by 8 going into the 10th in his match against Jarno Lahti, and Juha Vuoppola is trying to survive. Tapanimäki and Nielsen are playing quite a slow pace.
And Ben had paid the €10, 300 euro extra, so we have now
Jarno
2
takes
300 games who will compete.
the lanes
for
first and
2,000
shoots a strike in the
euros.
10th, so Juha Vuoppola needs to strike to stay alive in the tournament. does take all 10 down. Once again, Jarno Lahti needs to strike. Jarno's second shot in the 10th. This time leaving the flat 10, so Juha Vuoppola takes the third game and that match continues. Also Jacobs and Ryhanen there are playing pretty slow pace. Only 3 frames played in the third game. And I believe they haven't had any machine malfunctions, which would be the reason. Bon and Fjällborg, they are, if Bon does not make that spare, only a few being advantage to Brandon Bon. Niko Oksanen actually took the third game from Karo Hilokoski, so also that match goes to 4th game. Karsten Hansen is trailing Emma Palerma, including handicap, by 15 and 4 frames to go. And Karsten is still using urethane on lane 23. He leaves it light, leaving 2 for 5. Vilokkinen and Svensson going into the 10th. Svensson is leading by 5, and he is looking to sweep Vilokkinen because he is holding a 2-0 lead after two games. Richard tees Alex Joki. Tees is leading this third game. 33 pins after 5 frames. And looking to take a 2-1 lead. Pretty much Noa Vilokkinen needs to strike. He leaves the 6 pin, so that means William Svensson will advance if he makes any kind of mark. Easy shot, hits straight to the nose, leaving 3-6-10. Not the easiest pickups in bowling. Svensson leaves the 7 pin, and all he needs to do is make a spare on that one, and he will advance into the top 16. On 23, Emma Palerma struck again, so it looks like Palerma is going to take the third game and move ahead 2-1. Let's keep it here and check out. I'm saying when William Svensson is going to make that spare, and not if. It's when. And all he needs to do after that is take 6 with his fill ball. It's there. William Svensson will advance in 3 straight games against Noa Vilokkinen. But let's see if the results are updated here. Those are, yeah, Ben Robinson played faster with Laura Kivioja. And over here, does it say Santtu Tahvanainen? I think Tahvanainen did take... Oh, look at the scores. Tahvanainen 268, Pakarinen 264. So it is Tahvanainen leading 2-1, but that's not too common that you end up losing a game with 264. Well, Essi has started with a triple, and Santo doesn't have any strikes in a row so far, so it's already 29 pin advantage to Essi Pakarinen. Horton and Mukkula are playing the fourth game. Horton is up by 2-1. On 33, you can see that Santo Tahvanainen left a really annoying ringing 10. The 10 pin was wobbling and hobbling, but somehow was managed to stay up, and Essi is on pace to force a decisive fifth game. Horton triples. Alex Joki's maximum is 214 at the moment. And leaving that awful break, solid 8. This is interesting. If Karsten Hansen strikes out, his game is going to be 224. And Palermo is 21 pins over par, including handicap, so this is a tight one. And that match is tied at 1 apiece. With that first strike, Karsten already forced Emma to make a mark, and with another strike would force Emma to strike twice. Oh, that's dead flush. Karsten needs to strike once more to force Emma to strike again. A great shot by Karsten Hansen. So with his fill ball, if Emma only manages to make a spare, which would make her score 221, Karsten needs 8. (21 and 22), even though Karo Hilokoski has scored 119 pins more than Niko Oksanen. Still only 2-1 to Hilokoski, and Oksanen is leading by 3 pins. 4 frames to go of this fourth game, so it could be that it's heading the distance, even though the total score is totally different between Karo and Niko. A strike here for Emma, and she would take a 2-1 lead. And with that 210, it's probable he only takes 1, and also 8 or more for Karsten, and he's up by 2-1. That hooked so early for Niko, leaving 3, 6, 9, 10. And now it's 1 pin advantage to Karo Hilokoski. A little straighter line. Bed manages to take those 8, so 222 to Karsten Hansen. He takes the third game. On 17-18, Jacobs is definitely going to take a 2-1 lead. And on 19-20, Lukas Fjellborg needs to make spare on that 10 pin to take a 2-1 lead. And that's the way to do it. It's Fjellborg up 2-1.
13-14, front 7-7 alusta, Jarno Lahti.
Well, this 13-14, Jarno Lahti has once again started with front 7, and his opponent Juho Vuoppola has only left once, making 8 spare in 5th frame. And Jarno is up by 2-1. 15 and 16, Christopher Barry Nielsen is going to take the third game and force a 4th one. Three, 6, 10 to Jarno Lahti, and with a strike over here, Juho Vuoppola will take a 1-pin lead. A certain spare for Jarno Lahti. Calmly took down 3, 6, 10. Vuoppola strikes with that light hit to take a 1-pin lead, and Juho Vuoppola actually, with his pair Roni Leskinen, they won doubles World Championship gold in Youth World Championships in Malaysia during the summer. So he's been bowling on a high level the whole year and continues to do so, and we will probably see a very interesting 5th and decisive game between Vuoppola and Lahti. Väänänen and Glassborn, they are continuing their match. William Glassborn took the third one. Over here, it looks like Gertrus is going to take the 4th one and go through, because he's leading 2-1. Tonteri is up by 2-1. Let's go back to this match, because this is interesting. So 1 point the difference to Juho Vuoppola. Jarno Lahti only has a single strike, or if he leaves anything, he doesn't lose any count. With a spare and strike, that would force Vuoppola still to strike at least once. It grabbed that same spot that the previous shot in the 8th frame, once again leaving 3, 6, 10. So now it's easy if Vuoppola strikes once.
Front 7.
It will be a 5th game between those two. Seems like on 33-34, Santtu Tahvanainen is going to edge out Essi Pakarinen 3 games to 1. Now we have a possible tie, because he lost count 1. Oh, that's a bad spare shot. And that means Vuoppala had already won the match because he lost so much count. So there is going to be a fifth game. But over here, yeah, Santtu Tahvanainen. Well, he needs... no, he doesn't need anything. So there's your winner. Santtu Tahvanainen takes out Essi Pakarinen 3-1. And on this pair, Rami Mukkula is also forcing a fifth game between him and Alex Horton. Well, not, because he needs a spare on that one. Alex Horton's maximum is 245, and if Mukkula takes out 3, his score would be 244. So that 6 count was a really bad one for Rami. But Horton leaves that flat 10, so off to the 5th game we go. Lukas Fjällborg misses the 10-pin. Could be that we are seeing way more than 3 matches going the distance. At the moment it could be that it's 5 players going the distance, 5 matches. Well, Hilokoski in any case takes out Oksanen 3-1. It hasn't been updated yet on here. But yeah, I know that Gert Roos not working on a 7-bagger anymore, but he's guaranteed to win this 4th one and advance. The match between Eskil Lind and Jonne Kaisku. Is it that there is 199 on both players because the graphics are a little blurred? I haven't heard that they had a roll-off, but it looks like it's 199 for both of the players. Does it say who is leading here? Yes, it does. Eskil Lind is up by 2-1. If they had a roll-off, then Eskil would have taken it. And based that they have those corrections made on the scoreboard, that tells us that they did have a roll-off. They took out those shots away. So Eskil Lind did take that 2nd roll-off that has occurred during the finals against Jonne Kaisku. So there's your winner, Gert Roos against Thomas Lemekare. And Gert will be playing in the top 16. Kevin Melin and Juhani Tonteri. Tonteri is leading by 1 and also 2-1 in game. And 1 can lead and 4 frames to go. Lukas Väänänen is up by 13, and he's pretty much guaranteed to make a spare. William Claesborn had his baby split, which is not that easy. But with this modern technique with the backup ball, it becomes so much easier, and William easily converts that baby split. Hansen and Palermo are in their fourth game. Emma is leading by 14, including handicap. A pretty nice strike for Karsten. Still using urethane on the left lane and probably reactive on the right lane. Richard Tees and Alex Joki, they are playing pretty slow pace. And actually Alex Joki did take the third game, so he's up by 2-1. But Tees is leading by 15 at the moment. Let's go back to Tonteri and Melin. On lane 9, Väänänen misses the 10 pin. Still 1 point difference between Tonteri and Melin and 3 frames to go. Both players are working on a spare. A good light mixer for Tonteri. This match, Jonne Kaisku is already leading by 38, and also Kaisku and Lind match looks to be heading to the 5th game. Let's see if Jarno Lahti. He's trailing by 19, and this is the 5th game. Lahti took the first 2, but now it looks to be that Vuoppola is taking the last 3 ones. And also Tapanimäki and Nielsen. Tapanimäki took the first 2. Nielsen took the 3rd one and is on pace to take the 4th one. Kevin Melin leaves a light 7 pin. Emma Palermo looks to be winning the 4th one, so we have several game 5s already going on or to be played in the near future. Melin makes that spare. Now it's already guaranteed that Palermo and Hansen are going to play that 5th game, because Hansen has opened up both in the 7th and 8th frame. Tonteri strikes in the 9th. He's in good position, leading by 12. Horton and Mukkula, they're playing already the 5th game. Horton having a 17-pin lead at the 5th frame. Over here, Brandon Bond makes a double and he is up by 29 against Lukas Fjellborg, so they are almost pretty sure heading to the 5th game also. Jacobs and Ryhänen. Jacobs has started with front 6. Since Ryhänen only has one double, it is already 42-pin lead for Jacobs, and he is leading 2-1. Over here, Kevin Melin left the bucket. That means Tontare needs any kind of mark in the 10th to advance. And with that job, it's already over. So Lind, Kaisku, Horton, Mukkula, Hansen, Palermo guaranteed to go the distance. Yes, Tontari with that shot guarantees his advancement. And over here it's already guaranteed that that'll happen. Fjellborg's maximum is 181. Well, it's not mathematically over yet. But with a spare over there. Jacobs up by 41. Teppo Ryhänen maximum 258, so he probably needs to strike on. And with that spare, Brandon Bond guarantees that he's going to take the 4th game, and Bond and Fjellborg therefore are going to play that 5th and decisive game also. Nielsen, Tapanimäki also heading the 5th game, but Kuoppola and Lahti are playing on a faster pace, so let's watch this one. Jarno Lahti holding a 12-pin lead at the moment. We should also check up on Horton and Mukkula match. They have 3 frames to go. A nice strike for Juho. So 12-point difference, 2 frames to go. Mukkula strikes with that very nice light mixer and takes a 1-point lead. Kuoppola, Lahti, Horton, Mukkula, those are the 2 matches that we keep an eye on, because the other ones are playing on a slower pace. A little high for Horton, leaving 4-7. Lukas Väänänen advances with a 3-1 win against William Klasborg. Jarno Lahti's approach is very short at the moment. Uh-oh, that was a bad break. leaving brutal 7-10. But Vuoppola also leaving 4-6. Mukkula up by 3. Frame 9. A perfect strike for Rami Mukkula. We are trying to bounce between these two matches. I think we can take Alex Horton's 9th frame before going back to Lahti and Vuoppola game. That was a bad one. He missed it way too much to the left. So 14 pin advantage Mukkula. Any kind of good mark is enough for him. 11 point advantage Jarno Lahti, so strike spare or spare strike is enough. Good pace on the ball. A perfect strike. So that puts Juho Vuoppola in a bad position. Jarno Lahti only makes a spare. That's enough for him to shoot 184, and Juho's maximum obviously with 3 strikes is 183. Vuoppola does keep small pressure on Lahti. Rami Mukkula advances. He wins his match against Alex Horton 3-2. I always keep on changing to 9-12. And they're playing on 13-16. Good pace on the ball. A little too high. And Jarno Lahti only needs to make a spare on that 4-pin to advance. Eye for Nielsen. Vuoppola is able to knock all 10 down, putting slight pressure on Lahti to make a spare on that 4-pin, which he does pretty easily. So Jarno Lahti advances with 3-2 win over Juho Vuoppola. On 3 and 4, Eskil Lind has started with a triple. Jonne Kaikko is working on spare strike spare, so early 20-pin lead for Lind in that 5th decisive game. Richard Tees and Alex Joki, they are about to start their 5th game. They are also tied at 2. Hansen is a lucky boy only to leave a 4-pin with that shot. It was a really bad one going straight to the nose. Could have been 4-6 easily. Palermo with a strike here can move ahead. A bad one for her too, leaving 3-6. Oh, look at this. Teppo Ryhänen is going to win 4th game and force also a 5th game against Mark Jacobs. He shoots 250 and Jacobs, with that open frame in the 9th, can only shoot 240. So also over there, a 5th game. So out of these 16 matches, 5 games are needed. It's 6 or 7. This time, I guess, wasn't right. Well, let's move to that Palermo and Hansen game. It's already in the mid part of the 5th game, and the rest of those 5 game matches are still in the early stages. Emma Palermo, 6th frame. Looks to be good, and it is. Strike for her, and including handicap, Hansen is leading by 2 pins.
So let's see on the graphics, do we have here? Okay.
We know that Alex Joki did. It is in the 5th game, it's 2-2.
Yeah.
And Rami Mukkula, Alex Horton is actually wrong. It was Mukkula who won that match, like already said.
So we have some.
This is actually totally wrong. Karo Hilokoski won Oksanen, so the graphics are not right.
Yeah. So I go back to fix things.
Luckily, I've been able to follow
Yeah.
and tell you what's going on. Those graphics, and especially the scores, the graphics itself were good, but scores were totally wrong.
Yeah.
Over here, Eskil Lind has opened up in the 4th, so Jonne Kaisku is actually leading by 10. Yeah, I don't know where those results came from. Raul came back here and said the graphics should be okay now, and those were not okay. A very nice strike for Kaisku, and he takes a 20-pin lead with 4 frames to go. Palermo leaving that 10-pin, so Karsten Hansen's lead is a single pin. On 19 and 20, we could tell that Lukas Fjällborg has switched to reactive ball from urethane. A very weak 10 for Karsten Hansen. Obviously, when you're using urethane that high on the lane, you can easily leave those flat 10s. So that means the game is tied. A easy pickup for Emma. And I expect Karsten to do the same. So with 3 frames to go, we are tied between Hansen and Palermo. And just a reminder about the rules. If it's a tie between a male bowler and a female bowler, that handicap does not mean that the male bowler with a better scratch score wins. Also in that case, we will have a 1-ball roll-off until the tie has been broken. That Fjällborg's switch to reactive has been working pretty nicely. He has started with front 6. So he leads Brandon Bone by 30. Mark Jacob starts the 5th game with a strike. 32-pin advantage, Jonne Kaisku. Pretty much if he strikes in the 8th, that guarantees that Jonne is also going to be playing in the top 16. Palermo did strike. Kaisku getting some help with the messenger on that 7 pin, so it looks like he's going to advance. But we keep monitoring that. But let's switch back to Hansen and Palerma. Karsten just left a single 10 pin again, so it's Palerma holding a 1 pin lead. On that 20. Fjellborg, oh, what a break. Leaves a solid 8. After that front 6, and then Brandenborn already struck in his 7th frame. That's a close match. Also check on this Tees and Joki. Tees, a little lucky boy over there, tripping the 4-9 for a triple, so he's up by 24. Alex Joki on 28. A guaranteed strike. Now Palermo up by 1. A strike here would do wonders. Unfortunate for her, she leaves that flat 10. And for Hansen, I think it's an advantage that he gets to play his 10th frame on 24 with that reactive ball, because I don't like his look with the purple hammer on this 24, the 3. Escapes that shot with only a minor harm with leaving the 6-10. Brandenborn leaves that 6 pin, so he's trailing by 20. Teppo Ryhänen has started this decisive 5th game with 2 open frames. And over here, Nielsen and Tapaninmäki. Nielsen is up by 12. That hooked early, leaving that baby split. Fast checkup. Yeah, it's guaranteed that Jonni Kaisku advances. Then back to Aato Tapaninmäki. It seems like both of these players have burned that area pretty badly. Tapaninmäki shooting exactly the same way Nielsen and leaving that baby split also. 14-point difference in favor of Nielsen. But this match is a thriller. Palermo is up by 3 pins going into the 10th. Looks to be a little too tight. And oh no, she leaves 4-9. Well, it's bearable. And I think it's Hansen's advantage that he gets to play on 24 using that reactive bowling ball. With that strike, he forces Emma to make a spare. And this pair, Tees is already 40 over and Joki is 16 under, so it's 56 pin difference. So Richard Tees is probably going to advance from that match. That's not a spare, so Karsten Hansen will go through beating Emma Palermo in 5 games. Well, Brandon needs to make this fair. So his maximum is 226, and even if Fjällborg only, well, it still needs a mark unless he spares this one in the 10th if Bond strikes out. He only takes out 2. And that's a bad count because that forces him to make that mark. With 4 it would have been a different case. But now Bond needs to strike out, and in that case Fjällborg needs to make a mark. Before Brandon shoots, Nielsen leaves a 10 pin. So his maximum is 189, and with 2 strikes, Aatu Tapanimäki would shoot over 190. Several interesting matches going on. This one needs to be a strike, and since it's not, it's Lukas Fjällborg advancing. Tapanimäki needs to strike twice. And the first one is there. Nielsen needs to make this fair to stay in the match and force Tapanimäki to strike twice once again. Barely taking out the 10 pin. That is something that I really don't personally understand. Why are you hooking it with your backup ball? There's only a single pin. If it's 610, I completely understand it. No chance for a chop, but well, that's a different case. All we need to know is that Aatu Tapanimäki needs another strike in the 10th to advance. So this is the last spot up for grabs because Richard Tees and Jonne Kaisko also guarantee the spots in the top 16. A little too early to the dry area, cooked a bit, notch too much, leaving the 4 pin. And now his maximum is 184, so Christopher Barry Nielsen needs to take out 6 for him to advance. And that is exactly what he does. Takes out all 10, 189, 184. Christopher Bernie Nielsen advances to top 16. The last remaining match between Jacobs and Ryhänen. Jacob is 17 over and Ryhänen is 23 under, so that is easy to calculate. Jacob leads 40 pins. But okay, he left the baby split, not a guaranteed spare. That converts it with ease. Step 3 is scheduled to start at 1 p.m. and since we are 48 at the moment, we will stay in schedule. We will re-oil the lanes, and step 3 will definitely start on time at 1 p.m. And it's going to be a new stream on YouTube Final step 3. So be sure to switch to that right stream when the proper time comes. Ryhänen probably needs to have this one to have any kind of chance. Well, he does. Takes out the 10 pretty nicely and reduces the gap to 30. And do remember the previous one. It was already over by 5th or 6th frame. But with that open frame in the 9th, Jacobs gave Ryhänen a chance and Teppo took advantage. Struck 6 or 7 times to finish off the game and force this 5th game. A little too slow, a little too early to the hook dry area. 32. Teppo takes out the 6-10. Still having some difficulties with the results on our graphics, but at least you all know who has progressed through the live stream, so we are trying to fix that by the round of 16. A good light hit from Mark Jacobs. He leads 42, 3 frames to go, and Ryhänen doesn't even have a strike in the 7th. Barring a super collapse from Mark Jacobs, our qualification winner is going to progress to top 16. Eighth frame, Mark Jacobs. Good speed on the ball, but missed it left. But was fortunate enough to leave just the 6-pin. An easy pickup. Jacobs and Ryhänen, they have played with a very slow pace. Luckily the schedules are okay, but these kind of matches when you don't take a little bit too much time, I would say that somebody would have to go over there and say, just keep up the pace a little bit more. Ryhänen leaves a ringing 10. There's only 2 frames to go and he's trailing by 22. It's all but over. Ryhänen makes that spare. But Jacobs pretty much needs only 1 clean frame. So I would say the percentages of Jacobs to advance is more than 99. And after that shot, it's a complete 100%. Mark Jacobs is advancing to top 16. And now all the lanes will be reordered once more. Top 16 will start 1 p.m. The lanes that we are using are 9 to 24. And the ones who have purchased that extra service through International Hammer Challenge you will be able to see through that channel too, because we only need 16 lanes in top 16. Our capacity, technical capacity, is enough to do that, so please do check back at 1 p.m. and follow your favorite players as this 4th International Hammer Challenge here in Tully Bowling Center will resume. Jacobs taking out that 7-pin. He's shooting over 220s. Teppo Ryhänen. 150, 160 something. Actually, Jacobs did not shoot 220s with that 3 count. It's 219, but it doesn't matter. Our top seed, Mark Jacobs, is continuing in the tournament. I have actually those player seedings in front of me. Lukas Fjällborg is seeded 45th, so it will be Mark Jacobs and Lukas Fjällborg in the round of top 16. So that concludes final step number 2. Final step number 3 will start 1 p.m. So be sure to check back at that time. See you then.
The final step 2. Winners who will go to the next step are Janne Kaisku, Juhani Tonteri, Gert Truus, Lukas Väänänen, Ben Robinson, who also made 300 game, Jarno Lahti, Christoph Barry Nielsen, Mark Jacobs, Lukas Fjällborg, Karo Hilokoski, Karsten Hansen, William Svensson, Richard Thies, Thomas Käykkö, Rami Mukkula and Santtu Tahvanainen.